Hey everybody, it's Rob here. Today I want to show you a new build here with the Barbarian that has risen to glory again. It's the Deathblow Barbarian, and this build can absolutely one-shot any enemy in the game. You can have hits up to, we have hit up to 500 million, and I can just show you real quick what's actually possible if you do it right. This is just a general clip of how you build up the damage and get your stacks, get your weapon swaps right, and stack just a lot of damage multipliers and have this one big hit that basically one-shots everything. You just see me here one-shotting über Duriel in a foreman party, and as we do our death blow here, it hits him for 200, and again there's a lot of variation. We have up to 400 million hits here. For example, here on Über Duriel, this was with low life. We have 416 million. And yeah, it's just rocking. You can do the same on Lilith. I can show it to you here live right now. We have the Deathblow stuff. And we basically want to stack. Before we go over all the build, I just want to quickly show you how it basically works. We play with... This is one of the centerpieces here. We want to switch our weapon 8 times to overpower for another damage multiplier. And we want to spend 100 fury with your next weapon mastery skill, deals another triple damage. And Deathblow is a weapon mastery skill basically. So it's just going to get such a crazy damage, and we have stacked 2500 overpower damage, and you can get even more. Right now I'm still using a sword here and a sword here, as I haven't fully optimized everything. I also haven't leveled all the glyphs yet. So these 500 million hits, the Uber bosses, they only have max 100 million life. You one-shot everything with this build. Every enemy, it's not even close, you know, if you have half your damage buff ups, everything is one-shot basically, even in a foreman party. And yeah, you can optimize this a lot more, because this should be a mace here. You want the mace implicits because they have overpower damage. And just stack all this overpower damage. It's crazy. So what you kind of want to do before you engage the boss, it's very simple. We play Walking Arsenal here as well. So we want to just, and we have the vampiric power with metamorphosis that makes us unstoppable, together with our pants, which gives us resources whenever we just dash around. So we can dash, and then we switch our weapons. We do left click with lunging strike, right click with upheaval, and you see that our stacks are building here. We can do another left click, boom. Now we have 3 stacks, and then we need more resources. We can dash again, upheaval, and I have the implicit that reduces my evade cooldown. Every time I attack, you see my evade just goes down. So you usually want to start a fight, let's say Lilith here, you want to start it with 6 stacks. And there's a bit of RNG to it, because you only have about 80% chance to overpower. And what you want to do is you already want to have your weapon mastery buff up, because I've spammed upheaval 3 times. And you need to spend 100 fury. Upheaval costs 40, so 3 times 40 is more than 100. So you have this buff, and you have this buff. This buff is from the amulet. You don't really need it at this point, but it's the second effect that we really want. So our crits that also overpower deal another 2.2 multiplicative damage, and that's just insane numbers. And I'm not even sure on Lilith, we might not even need to crit. We'll see. It's again, it's a little RNG on the crit side, obviously, because you either crit or you don't. And your crits, they deal 3-4 times the damage of a normal hit. And you also have the 2 additional charges here, so you can Deathblow twice in a row. So your first Deathblow is going to be the big one, and Deathblow just has this tremendous damage because it has another 2.5 multiplier here, 150% Deathblow damage. Basically, that's the rune. And we stacked up to 15 ranks of Deathblow, and we don't have Shaco yet, so we could get another 4 ranks from Shaco, up to rank 19 on Deathblow, and you see it hits us for 288% weapon damage, 150k. So I'll just show you this in practice. So what I will do on Lilith, I'll press my 3 shouts to get all my buffs. I will use my spacebar. That's the rotation. You use your spacebar to apply metamorphosis, applies the curse, and the curse makes the target vulnerable. And it's really important because we're going to do more damage to a vulnerable target. So we just approach Lilith. We just basically, as we approach her, we can already cast our 3 shouts, ideally. And then we just do this. And then 1 left click, 1 right click, and then dash. Boom. 122 million dead. That's basically all we do. And we do it in the, we can do it in the second phase again. I'll just show you real quick here. So you want to position yourself, because I also have the standstill one. Like when you stand still, it helps you. I kind of want to refresh some of the stacks here. We have 6, and then you go. Boom. Triple shout, left click. Oh, I didn't do it right here because I used... so you see, you can definitely learn a bit about the rotation. Let's just die here. And now it's nerfed. No, it's not gonna get nerfed. Let me do it right. I was like extracted by explaining it. So you do left click, right click, left click, right click. You want to get 6 stacks. Left click, right click. You have 6 stacks now. So now you're ready to fight, basically. You also have this one. And you also want to stand still. You want to wait for your shouts. You do it right this time. We approach her. We do triple shout. Left click, right click. Boom. 300 million. There we go. And now I need to prepare. Don't talk so much, Rob. Prepare. 6 stacks. Another upheaval. Okay, now left click, right click, death blow. And we're good. Very simple. Get the shots up. Left click, right click, death blow. Boom. There we go. Another 300 million. Now the fight's clean. We can do it. We can set it up another time. Left click, right click, left click. Can do a dash here for resources. Right click, left click, right click. And I mean, I'm gonna do it now. And like this is pointless, but just for showcase. So we do another dash, shouts, left click, right click, death blow. 300 million again. We can set it up another time. Just make sure. Sometimes the buff buy is a bit annoying because you don't have enough stacks. So see, we have 6 now. It's perfect. To wait a little bit. And we can do this with any boss. You can one-shot the Uber Duriel. You can one-shot any boss in the game. Triple shouts, left click, right click. Okay, she was already dead. So we had the powerful death blow now, but we don't even need it. And that's basically how the fight works. And that's the rotation. Like, you just need to make sure you have 6 stacks and remember the order. So now on my 6th stack, because it only works on weapon swap. On my 6th stack, I cast upheaval. So now I know I need to do left click again to get 7 and then right click again to get 8. I'm just going to do this here in the air. So left click 7, right click 8. And now you see my next attack will overpower from the Earth Striker. And now I know I'm going to switch the weapon one more time to death blow. And this attack is guaranteed to overpower. And it's guaranteed to get another 1.5 multiplier. And on top of this, I don't have this Paragon glyph leveled yet. I'll put the planner in the description. This has the optimized boards with a level 15 glyph. So I'm using this one here. So whenever I switch my skill, it does more damage. But this glyph is literally on level 1. I didn't level it. Like, this is like no leveled glyph, nothing. Like, you can hit like more than 500 million easy. And what this does is has a 18% chance to increase your crit chance. So we already have a base of 61. If we get fortified, we get another... Here we have 6% crit chance. And I guess on the bosses, the best would be to play I don't know if I have it right now here. No, but the where you get Fury when you get a spend when you generate Fury over maximum. But yeah, so you get another 8% here. So that would put me right now. I'm not fortified. You see, like in a Nightmare Dungeon run or something, I would just get fortified by killing monsters very easily. So I'll get like up to 70% crit chance, and then if I switch the weapon with the glyph, we go from 70 plus another 18. So we get about 88-90% crit chance. And it's really important again because of our amulet. Our overpowers that also crit not only going to get the crit damage multiplier, which is 1.5 plus the additive, it's another 2.25 again. So we get like a minimum of 1.5 times 2.2. So this is our minimum 3.3 times crit, and then we also have a bit more additive, right? But it's not a significant margin because we have such crazy overpower damage. And again, can get some implicits more, and you get even more overpower damage. So that's basically how the build is coming together, and that's like the base mechanics and the rotation. I'm gonna show you all my gear now real quick here. So we have the Weapons Master, again 2 stacks on Deathblow. If for some miracle, again no boss can survive this, but you can just, if you don't crit, like you have till 10% chance to not crit, so you can just press Deathblow again, and we have even more overpowered ways to overpower. So we also have the Bone Breaker, so even if your first attack doesn't crit, your second attack will still overpower. And we have third Dominate, which also stacks. You have another chance every 30 seconds to overpower, and you see here I have like double overpower, and that's not even counting my weapon switch. That would also guarantee. So essentially, if I do it right, I can have 3 guaranteed overpowered attacks in a row. So that can be pretty nuts. Then we have the Disobedience here. This is for Nightmare Dungeons, but ideally you can run the, let me show you on the planner here. We have it, here's the planner. So on the planner we have here the Steadfast. You can do Disobedience or this one. This one is better for pure boss killing. And I mean, this should be the pure boss killer. I just had this because I need to level my glyphs. As you saw, I have mine at level 1. So yeah, just defensive stats. And you can also get this like overpower damage with 2 hand bludgeoning weapons here, which obviously increases our overpower damage even further. Then we have the standstill here. That's why we use the dash, which is so cool. Like you see the buff icon down here. And if you use the dash, see it doesn't drop. So we can use the dash to move and then still get into the right position with our death blow, because we can use our mouse cursor. So even if I'm facing, let's say I'm facing downwards, if I have my cursor up here, I can still dash upwards. So that's really important. So yeah, standing still, very nice synergy here. Another 1.3 multiplier. Then we have our pants, and again we have the bat power, so we just get unstoppable when we press spacebar. We already get the buff. Or we can also get the buff by just pressing Rallying Cry, because it also makes us unstoppable. Really good. Then we have the boots here. I still have pretty bad boots. Attack reduce the evade cooldown, I think it's really important. Or you get evade charges, that works as well. And you kind of have like your resource battery here if you need it. But again, for this build, you only needed to spam overpower to proc your Weapons Master pretty much. And your amulet if you want another sort of overpower after 300. So yeah, you get unstoppable, more movement speed. It's just always nice to dodge the skulls or anything. Then we have overkill here. This is obviously the deathblow weapon. 6 ranks to deathblow. Gonna make us an incredible 15 ranks together with the 4 on our helm. Also really important. Cooldown also good. Yeah, big DPS basically, and AoE. One thing that I mentioned in my other guides as well is that you need to kind of stack your resistance. So right now I was fighting Duriel. You see I could put another cold dress in one of my jewelry, or I could have it here instead of the movement speed after killing elite, which is like useless. You want to have cold rest here as well. So you can max out all your rest if you just get a single rest roll or 2 rolls on helm and on your boots, which is like you have 3 slots there. You want movement speed on the boots, and berserking duration is optional, but then you want dual rest or something and the good implicit. And then you can just kind of make up for the missing rest with the jewelry. Because I don't really like to put the diamonds, like just have single rest roll on each piece, and then the ones that you don't have, put 1 of each in the jewelry. So yeah, it's really good to max out. Then we have Edgemaster here, obviously. We cast Deathblow at full resources, so another 1.2 multiplier. We have the Overpower here, another 1.5 multiplier. We have the Weapons Master here, another 3 multiplier. And notice the stats like you want all stats. Main stat, I think, is the best damage multiplier, because we have all this additive already. Like 2500 additive. Like we definitely don't want like crit damage, or even vulnerable is not that great. I think the best weapon, do I have one? The best weapon would have all stats, main stat, berserking damage, and overpower damage. And berserking damage, because we have berserking as a separate multiplier from our blood rage board. We don't use any bleeds, we only use this for the secondary effect. And notice here, I get another 1.47 multiplicative bonus from all my berserking damage that I chose in my Paragon board. And I have it, for example, on this weapon. So this weapon, instead of close, all stats, and it's perfect. But yeah, I can still get some more upgrades. And then this amulet here, in case you're wondering, it drops from Uber Duriel. It's pretty common drop. It's not that hard to get. It also has crit chance, which really helps overpower damage, obviously. And then we have the rings. I was still using the shout rings. You don't even have to use triple shout with this, but you can. It's really up to you. Like, you can use even more DPS here if you want to. But I like the shouts. It's just so much safety, so much flexibility. Especially if there's ads, it's like really good. So yeah, that's that. Then we have the expertise. We use X, we make enemies vulnerable with our dash, with our vampiric powers, and then we just have them permanently vulnerable because they are cursed. Then we have the 200 mace expertise here. Berserking, another 1.15 multiplier. On the skill tree, we use lunging strike. We have extra chance to trigger berserking. It's like you don't even necessarily need this point. Like, your generator is basically just enabling your DPS. And then we have upheaval. This one also guarantees us berserking. Pretty good stuff. You can also play the Tusk Helm, actually, if you want. It's another 1.15 multiplier, but you don't have the Deathblow ranks. I don't recommend it because you actually lose DPS. But if you don't have a helm like mine, like us, this helm is like really insane. If I get this to like a 29 armor roll, like, it's a perfect helm, basically. Perfect secondary, and then double charges obviously helps a ton. But yeah. Upheaval definitely gives us berserking guaranteed on the boss. We have some defensive here. We have Rallying Cry. I use this with Fortify. You can also use the resource one, but you don't really need resources with this one, apart from Upheaval. Challenging Shout, Toughness is always good to have for boss mechanics. Here I also use the Fortify rune. If you're doing Nightmare Dungeons or anything that has enemies and is not a single target, you can use Power War Cry. Shout buffs, berserking buffs. Like, this one is also not even needed. Like, Fury Generation. Kinda don't need it. Like, you could like put movement speed. Like, there's like really a couple of free points here because you don't really like rely on getting Fury that crazy, right? But I'll put the optimal stuff in the planner. Then what's really important here, obviously, Deathblow. 2.5 multiplier against bosses. And yeah, you have berserking here as well. So many sources of berserking. Pit Fighter for close enemies. Slaying Strike I really like against injured targets. You can even do even more DPS. Insane. Counter offensive. Another 1.25 multiplier whenever you're fortified. And we have a lot of fortified sources. Then we have, this is probably the most important, Brute Force. Another 1.45 multiplier for your overpowers when you use 200 weapons, which we are doing. And Wallop, which gives you another 1.15 against vulnerable targets. And then the Walking Arsenal. And this one's really important, together with a Brute Force, that you assign your weapons correctly. So on Death Blow, you want to have the overkill assigned. So you can do this by pressing S and then just switching the weapon here. And you always want to have your bludgeoning weapon here. On the left click, you want to dual wield to attack faster. And also to trigger the Walking Arsenal buff. And on Upheaval, you want to use the slashing weapon. But like that way, we can get all 3 stacks. And that's why you guys remember from earlier, we get the 6 stacks. And then we know we need to attack once with Upheaval. I mean, right now I'm not thinking a target, but then you would get the buff. Once with Upheaval, once with Lunging Strike, that's 2, and then 3 with Deathblow, boom. That's all your Walking Arsenal active as well. So another GG 1.45 multiplier, right? Yeah, pretty good. And then last but not least, we have the Paragon tree. And again, I put the optimized version in the description because I don't have everything maxed here right now. I even have a lot of defense in here. But you really want to have maximum life for your overpower mechanic. Because the more life you have, the more max percent life and the more fortify, the more damage your overpower is going to do. So this one really helps a lot. So in the first board, we basically focus full on Iron. This one I have actually on level 21. It gives us 74 damage while berserking and damage reduction while we're berserking. And again, this is what we take. We focus a lot of berserking, so we get the Blood Rage DPS multiplier. And then here I don't have Martial. You can take Martial here. I have Might for another multiplier. If you do Nightmare Dungeons, I would recommend Martial for better shot uptime. Hunter Killer here for big additive elite damage. Then here we have Enraged. And this is the entire Carnage board here, where we basically take all this berserking damage. We have Crusher here. So when you have optimized, you put Crusher here. But again, I'll show it to you in the description. We have like all the berserking damage, Fortify damage, all the stuff. Bone Breaker here for overpowers. Mortal Draw here for the crit swap. And yeah, Crusher with the crazy 1.3 multiplier. For overpowers, we have Dominate here for another guaranteed overpower. And this one actually gives us 400% overpower damage. Really good. Then we have Decimator, vulnerable targets, and then we overpower vulnerable targets another 10%, so we get 20%, 1.2 multiplier here. And then finally Blood Rage, and I don't think I have the requirements here, so you can still like min-max a bit more, you see. And this is already hitting for like 500 million, and it's not even min-maxed because it's the 3rd day of the season. But yeah, we'll get there, guys. So this is a really, really strong build. I encourage you to test it out if you want to have some fun and you want to kill some bosses. And you just want to, you know, like lull your teammates, like you just go to the boss in a 4-man group, you know, prepare your stuff, and then you hit with one skill and you just one-shot him. That's a really good feeling. And yeah, if you want to do that, test out this Death Blow one-shot Bazooka Barbarian. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, the planner is in the description. Take care, my friends. GG. $400. What? I'm not really doing any weapon switching. 341. Man. $175 million. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.